Hey everybody, we are live. Me and Dad had so much fun doing this last week. We decided to do it again, didn't we, brother?
Oh, yeah. Made me get choked on my coffee.
We're off to a great start.
Oh, well, it's your show, but I just got to say, happy birthday, son.
Oh, well, thank you, Dad.
Happy birthday to you.
You only turn 37 once, and you look forward to it your whole life. So here it is.
Do you feel any older?
I do feel older. I'm starting to feel it. I was at Walmart the other day and I asked some lady, I said, they were going around. They told the pharmacist, they were like, I can't believe you're a pharmacist. You look 24 years old. And I said, well, how old do I look? And they go, oh, 35. And I thought, wow. I'm looking my age these days. So.
Yeah. Well, I thought a while ago, I got a son 37 years old. That makes me feel older, but I don't know if I feel any wiser.
All right. I'm going to check the audio on this computer over here real quick and just see. How does it sound?
Oh, it sounds good. The coffee messed me up. Okay.
Sounds all right to me. I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought we could start off with this if it's all right with you.
That's your show.
But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero?
I want to tell you, brother.
They tried to kill the next president of the United States. Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
I love that. Look how happy he is. He really seems happy. He seemed more touched by Hulk Hogan than anything else.
Oh yeah.
All night.
Of course he's been involved in that kind of stuff for a long time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hang on, I'm gonna
But what happened last week?
That's it.
Yeah.
I want to watch it one more time. I love it. I love it so much.
When they took a shot at my hero. And they tried to kill the next president of the United States. Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
Yeah, take a breath.
Man. USA indeed. USA indeed, Dad.
Yeah, makes me think of Davey. Yeah, I want to tell you, brother.
I know. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it fully when I was younger. You remember Josh Patterson would come over to the house sometimes? I don't know if you remember him.
No, not really.
Him and David Smith would leave these voicemails to each other. And on the voicemail, they'd say, like, you're going down on Sunday, brother. You're going down. You don't stand a chance, bro. And I had no idea what they were talking about. I was always like, what is that? Is that professional wrestling? I could never really get into.
Right.
I remember us growing up and wrestling being on TV, but we never really watched it.
Yeah. Yeah. Be like that little girl I knew. She always said, "You're gonna get a beat down." You're gonna get a beat down.
You're gonna get a beat down.
Yeah. Yeah. You better be good. You'll get a beat down. Yeah. I gotta be good. I'll get a beat down. And I'm like, what's a beat down? It don't sound good.
That was a lot of fun. I like that one.
Yeah.
I wanted where is that? There's one where he had a few good ones. Like there's one where he body slammed somebody. I can't remember. I don't have it pulled up. I saw one where he slapped Vince McMahon. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Slammed Vince McMahon. There it is. Yeah, let's watch this one. And then we'll try to find the chair slam one. Here you go. Oh man. Why does he go after the other guy?
Through your head.
Oh man.
Oh Lord.
Good times.
Yeah. Yeah, good time, I guess. Yeah, right.
So it's getting interesting, Dad, because I'm in a weird way. There's a lot of people on my side of the political fence that are starting to get angry that people are believing that Donald Trump getting elected could change anything. And they're really digging into certain connections like Peter Thiel has. Do you know who Peter Thiel is?
Yeah, I heard of him today. Well, I can't remember. I watch so much stuff that it starts to run together.
So Peter Thiel he was part of the PayPal mafia, and I think he was the founder of PayPal. He was kind of the man behind PayPal, and
I thought Elon Musk had that and then he sold it.
Yeah, because Elon was so successful, Elon kind of gets the credit, but Peter Thiel was very successful as well. You can tell. Here's this article. Let's see if we can.
He's like Soros. He's one of those quiet billionaires.
Yeah. Well, here you go. The PayPal Mafia is a group of former PayPal employees and founders who have since founded and or developed additional technology companies based in Silicon Valley, such as Tesla, LinkedIn, Palantir. That's the one that scares the most people that Peter Thiel has developed. Let me see if I can find global information awareness. Yeah. I can't find the exact program. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was a DARPA program. DARPA was after 9/11, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that was it. So,
it is
there you
after
go.
9/11. It's 9:15.
There you go. So this was I don't know if you've ever seen this. This was the Information Awareness Office. Was established by the United States Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, who created the internet in January 2002 to bring together several DARPA projects focused on applying surveillance and information technology to track and monitor terrorists and other asymptomatic threats to U.S. national security by achieving total information awareness. They were going to create enormous computer databases together and store the personal information of everyone in the United States, including personal emails, social networks, credit cards, phone calls. Is this news to you, Dan?
Way to go, Edgar J. Hoover.
Yeah, it's Edgar J. Hoover's dream program.
The dream.
And they wanted to do this without a search warrant. The information was then analyzed for suspicious activities, connections between individuals, and threats. The program also included funding for biometric surveillance technologies that could identify and track individuals using surveillance cameras and other methods. Following public criticism that the technology's development and deployment could lead to a mass surveillance system, it was defunded. It was defunded by Congress in 2003. However, several Information Awareness Office projects continued to be funded under different names, as revealed by Edward Snowden during the course of the 2013 mass surveillance disclosure. So this is the this was their logo. Like, why would you make your logo that?
I don't know, but it looks evil.
It does look evil. I mean, your gut response is like, that's not a. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like,
there's the little pyramids on our dollar too, so money. So
right, but I feel like the money's been around so long. Here's their seal in Latin: knowledge is power. That was their seal. Anyway, you go back here to the PayPal Mafia. And you go down here, members of the PayPal Mafia, Peter Thiel. That's the guy right there. And Elon Musk. These guys all started PayPal together.
Yeah.
Something to move money around the internet, which when you get banned on it, it makes it really hard to make money on the internet. There are other ones. I think there's one called Stripe. That's the main alternative to move money around, but I believe that is also funded by Peter Thiel. You know, my buddy Caleb Maupin, he got deleted off of PayPal.
Oh yeah,
probably because he works for RT would be my guess. But anyway, certain people are. I'm thinking mainly of Whitney Webb. Let's see if she has an article on it. Whitney Webb.
Oh Lord,
you know her?
I seen her today, and it makes me wonder what she. And I tried to find out.
You saw her on Jimmy.
I tried to find out what her political affiliation is, but the internet didn't want to give me much. But she works for Mint News, so I looked that up, and it's a far left leaning. So I said, "Well, that tells me all I need to know right there."
Well. You know,
she says she has some good points, but I don't,
well, I'm just trying to keep an open mind because I can feel myself. Here's the thing. I can feel myself, it's fun to root for someone that you can believe in, and I can feel myself having similar feelings to like Obama in 2008 at this point. And but I also I also don't think someone like Whitney is ever going to give. I said, because you're right, Whitney is a leftist, but I wrote in Jimmy's chat that Trump himself could say, you know what, I've seen the light. Karl Marx was right. I'm joining the Communist
Yeah.
Party. And she would still be like, I don't believe it at all. It's not real. I'd be like, there's no, I don't think there's anything he's going to be able to do that she's going to say is good. And I was glad Jimmy pushed back a little bit, but Jimmy really likes Whitney, and Whitney also really knows her stuff. And sure enough, here's her website.
Well, she's
this.
like
So
she's like
her,
she's like
go
a
ahead.
good book that's got a lot of falsities in it, and so what you do is rather than not read it, you read it and you take the best and leave the rest.
Could be. This is the front page of her website here. The man behind Trump's VP pick. It's worse than you think. This is her article on that. But here's the thing I haven't told you yet, how JD Vance is connected to Peter Thiel. So from what I understand, JD Vance went to work in Silicon Valley under Peter Thiel for a couple years. And they are both members of the, I don't like the word alt-right because that's been so poisoned by the Democrats, but the conservative movement that aren't in the like rhino Republican Party, if you will.
Right.
And
well, Trump's not
right.
What you would call your
no,
typical.
He's not a Mitch McConnell type.
Oh no, not at all. And speaking of RJ Vance, to RD or what was it, RJ or RD?
JD Vance.
JD, yeah. Speaking of JD, I thought today, because the other night when he spoke, Wednesday night, I guess when he spoke at the convention, he his theme song they played before he got up was a Merle Haggard song, Put America First. And I thought, oh wow, they're playing a Merle Haggard song. And I thought, wow, the way this convention is going, this would be a perfect time to release Redneck Republican.
Yeah, I think so. I think the internet wants it. You'll have to play it on one of these streams one night. Get out the guitar and
get ready for the hate, probably.
Oh no, there's no hate. That's the thing I've kind of realized about doing this on the internet. Like right now, there's 2 people watching us.
Because that's one of those things that I've wrote a lot of that kind of stuff. That it's meant to be. It's got seriousness in it, but it's meant to be comedy.
Right.
And, it's not meant to be thrown at anybody because I've got 2 of them. That one would really bring the hate down. I got one called Redneck Redneck Democrat too, so that would really bring the hate. So I'm not biased.
There you go.
But anyway, it's not bad. It's just typical. It's not typical of a Republican, but it is typical of a few that I know that live in the hills.
Sure.
It just is. I mean, kind of like old boy said, I are one.
Yep. I was wanting to watch this last one, I think, before I forget. I think this was Trump's premiere WWE appearance here. Let's see.
Yeah, with with our your ADD and my ADD bumping heads together, no telling where we'll end up.
That's fine. The internet is made for people with ADD. People without ADD, they're reading books right now, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, well, they worry about it.
Sir, listen. You know I'm your #1 fan.
So, what's your point, Coach? Let's go. I'm going to the ring.
One of my favorite moments on Raw was right after WrestleMania 23, the Battle of the Billionaires.
How do I look? Damn!
The following night, I watched Vince on Raw.
Hey! Wow! That Frank Sinatra's old hat on.
He was amazing. He had a hat on. He had a little bit of a black eye.
I expect most of you people think I'm going to come out here and eat a nice big slice of humble pie.
Don't you kind of feel like last night was channeling kind of WWE energy a little bit?
Oh yeah,
Like it was a show, man, and it was a show. It was fun.
Yeah.
I saw even some liberals were like, "I'm ashamed that I was having so much fun watching that."
Yeah. Well, you know, he's good at being a showman.
That's true. That's true. Here we haven't even got to the best part. Yeah, I'm gonna finish it out. I like to take little breaks because YouTube, if you play the whole clip, they'll get really uppity about it. So here.
He was a little bit embarrassed. I mean, I could see he was embarrassed.
That's the last time ever you will see me with a bald head.
The ECW champion Bobby Lashley.
And I love embarrassing Vince McMahon.
Punch him, Mr. McMahon. McMahon has found the sanctuary of Lillian's sisters.
There's nothing better than watching him squirm.
There you go.
Yeah.
It wasn't the actual shaving of the head. The Battle of the Billionaires. Here you go. This was it. Hang on. I just want to see him when he shaves McMahon's head. Oh, there it is.
Come on, Bobby, let's go. How you doing, man? How you doing?
I would love to hear what Mr. McMahon is saying. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Trump and Lashley shaving Mr. McMahon bald.
Don't do this to me.
I can hear Mr. McMahon screaming over here in ringside, JR.
Oh, no. No.
He's
Don't you
crying.
look at me. Stop it. Stop it. Don't. You're going to make me look like Vulcans.
Oh, no, please.
He's getting it all. Oh, man. I had to get that one in there.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is funny. I agree, Mr. Wonderful. I was listening to Garland just a second ago, and it was kind of like, well, I won't name who it was, but you would know him. Me and Grandpa went to eat at Main Street today. He took me out for my birthday, and there was an old cowboy there, you know, very, very serious type, and I asked him if he had. I can't remember how it came up, but I said something about Joe Biden, and he said, he goes, "Yeah, I can't watch any of that. I can't watch any of it." And I said, "Well, I think it's something in the McConnell blood. We just watch it and laugh." And he goes, "Yeah, I do that. The thing is, it just ain't funny."
Yeah.
And I thought about that, and I was like, it's not funny, but you know, I think there's a
I'm
role
trying to
for.
think. I know two old cowboys, so I was wondering if his first name started with an S or a J.
Yeah, it does. You got it. You know who
With
it
an
is.
S or a J?
Yeah. You know who it is.
Which
You know who
one?
it is. But it's the first one. But I just don't
Oh, okay.
want. I don't want to put
Okay.
him on.
That makes sense.
Because I get I get it, but I'm more. I'm glad George Carlin watched the news, and I'm glad he was able to laugh about it. What did he say
George
about
was the best.
living in America? Being alive is a freak show, and the thing about living in America is you get a front row seat.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You were worried about people watching you on the internet. Here's what I've realized about being on the internet. There's 4 people watching us right now. God bless their hearts.
God bless their hearts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll pray for them.
The thing about being on the internet is no one cares. No one's watching you. And by the time there are enough people watching you that people start to care, you're making so much money you don't care anymore. So there's no, who cares? Just get on here and have fun. That's how I see it.
I think one of my favorite George Carlin saying about America was, he said, you ever wonder why they call it the American dream? Because you got to be asleep to believe it.
That's true. You got to be asleep to believe it. But that's the thing. Would George Carlin be a fan of Donald Trump? I don't think he would. I don't think he would be on the boat. I think I can't remember him ever liking any politician.
I don't think he'd be on either boat. If he was, he probably wouldn't. He certainly wouldn't promote any politician on either side. I don't believe.
No, I mean, to be honest, out of the 2 that are running right now, I very much hope one wins over the other. But I don't know. I'm of 2 minds about it, Dad. One part of me is like, do I want to vote? Do I want to vote for one of these 2? Because I know a year or 2 down the road, I'm just going to be disappointed no matter what happens. And then I'm going to feel kind of dirty, like I played a part in it, But then if you don't vote, then you kind of feel like you're just sitting on the sidelines and not really, playing ball.
I think we're stronger in that, though.
I've had a few elections where I've voted like in 2016, I voted for Jill Stein, and you walk around feeling like, yeah, I didn't vote for either one of the major ones. I voted for Jill Stein, and then you get to feel like, I didn't get down in the mud. I voted third party, or I didn't. That's was George Carlin's thing. I don't vote at all. I blame the people that vote. They're the ones that caused all the problems.
I can't help it. I'm always looking for comedy and everything, and I can't help it. Every night at the convention, I forget who it was. They said, what we need to do is we need to roll up our shirt sleeves. We need to work hard and go vote Trump in. I'm thinking, okay, here's what we're going to have to do.
You're just going to wind up with a brand.
Because it's such hard work. We need to set up a cart outside the polling place, and we need to have dry towels and cold water, because it's such hard work it's such hard work going in there and checking a box with a pencil that the sweat is just going to be they're just going to come out the polling booth sweating, and they're going to need the towels and cold water. And I'm thinking, why is that hard work?
That's true.
We need to work hard and go.
Oh my goodness.
We need to work hard and vote. And I'm thinking, that's hard work.
What's the hardest thing about voting is trying to decide with all the people that you have no idea who they are, whether you should vote for them based on, do they have a fun name, based on them, because when I first went in to vote, I'm always a completionist. So I remember back in the day, I'd vote for everyone. I'd try to pick one, like, even if I knew nothing about it, I'd be like,
It's kind of like,
Sanchez. That sounds kind of fancy. I think I'll vote for him for Second Circuit Court Judge of Jefferson
like-
City.
yeah, deciding which clown has the biggest circus.
There you go. There you go. Anyway, I need to finish that thought from earlier before I got distracted. Anyway, Peter Thiel here. He started a company called Palantir, and it's kind of like, according to Whitney Webb, it's funded by the CIA, and I'm sure it is. So is Google, the company that we're broadcasting this on right now. But pretty much they do big data analytics, and people are saying they do it for the United States intelligence community and the Department of Defense. And it's pretty much like a pre-crime organization. They capture everything on the internet and then profile us all, so they know who to round up if things hit the fan. You know what I mean? And I guess in Iran-Contra, it came out under Reagan that they had a list of 3 million Americans that they were going to round up if there was like a major war overseas that people were protesting. And I mean, I'm happy to be on that list. I'm not really afraid of it. And kind of what I'm feeling now with like Trump and Vance is like, you know, I'm sure Vance's connections to Thiel and Palantir, I'm sure there is stuff there that's not exactly, you know, has my best interest at heart. But the thing is there more, just to me, there may be more hope in that side than the one currently running things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and Jimmy tried to bring that up with Whitney on his show today. Like, well, Elon Musk, you know, that's another thing. Peter Thiel also owns Rumble, right? You know, Rumble, where everybody goes.
Yeah, I think
and
Miss Whitney was talking about that today.
Well, you heard that. And she said, well, the reason he runs Rumble is because it's great. All the crazy people can get on there and talk, and they can profile them and plug them into this Palantir, which is the Lord of the Rings thing for the all-seeing eye or whatever, and that'll help us find dissidents and whatever. But to me, I was thinking, well, it's a two-way street, Whitney. Like, thank God. Of course they're going to profile us on there, but thank God there is some place where we can get on there and talk to each other.
You know,
freely.
if you want to be pessimistic, you can find something wrong with anything. And if you do, if you really, you know, you sometimes your imagination can make it into something much worse than what maybe it really is, you know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Palantir. Absolutely, Mr. Wonderful.
anytime you got free speech, it's a good thing. Even if you get listed, it's still good to have it.
Right. I mean, there was a brief period there in late COVID where there wasn't any. You know, like I almost got my channel deleted. It was spooky. And Twitter was completely like they were censoring the Joe Biden laptop, you know. You could actually tried to send a link. I don't know if you knew that or not, Dad, but the Joe Biden laptop, you couldn't, there was a link on the New York Post. Let's just pull up the article so we can show people. New York Post, Joe Biden laptop, not Joe Biden, Hunter Biden laptop. You guys knew what I meant. I don't know where the original story was. Maybe if I type in original story. Yeah. Anyway, you would try to share the story on Twitter and it would literally block it. Like you couldn't send it to anyone. It was pretty amazing. So, I don't know. Are you still alive, Dad? Oh man. There he is. Did you have to relieve yourself?
Well, I had to take care of some business.
Okay, that's all right. That's good. People
You
will
know.
dig back. People will dig back in the archives one day and really enjoy that moment.
You know, when you get older, you know, you take a trip, you don't get more than 15, 20 miles. So
That's right.
So
Make the
anyway,
Tamsulosin for a reason. Anyway,
it is what it is.
it is what it is. There it is. So anyway, back in the day, you would try to share the original story. I haven't been able to find the original story, but you know what it was. It was in the New York Post, and you would copy this link up here and try to send it to your friend to be like, "Hey, look at what's happening with the Hunter Biden laptop. Look at all the crap on it." And they would literally censor the link. Twitter would, before Elon Musk bought it. You could not send it to anyone. It would literally censor the story. And to me, it's like, it's pretty clear. Like, yeah, is Peter Thiel going to take my stuff and funnel it into the Palantir CIA, profile American box? Yeah. Who isn't? But at least he's created a video website where I can get on there and say whatever the hell I want. And that's pretty cool.
Can't be worse than BlackRock.
Because YouTube's not. Did you see the BlackRock commercial with the kid with the shooter?
Yeah, apparently they pulled it. But I tell you what I heard today. I don't know who was sent, but there was a guest on Redacted, and he was talking about a prediction that he had interviewed Roger Stone back in 2018, and everything he said has come true with Trump. He said Roger Stone made a prediction that they're going to take him out, and he said they've already went through Plan A and Plan B, and he said Plan C is to take him out. And he's talking about Trump.
Wow.
And so. And he was saying that, the FBI was involved. But I also seen this video about there's a lady that was sitting behind him, and she looked just before Trump got shot. She was looking directly at the shooter. It looked like she was, and then as just right at that very moment that the shot was fired, she had her phone up recording. She put it up immediately, and I'm like, she had a ball cap on. I said,
I saw that.
They investigated it, and they said she was a member of the FBI. I said, that was on Redacted. I said, yeah, that's some kind of a coincidence.
Look at this, Dad. You'll like this.
Yeah.
You like that? You want to watch that movie?
What's that?
Look at it on the screen.
Oh.
That can't even process.
I can barely see it because it's so little on my screen.
Okay, on your phone.
But
I was just looking through Twitter.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
I was looking through Twitter and saw that, and I thought, oh, man. You're so bad.
No, listen. My life
I feel, JD Vance is having a moment, and that's like I need to dig through and see if this is for real, but it is, I can't remember where I saw it. Elon Musk has put this up. Median U.S. household income by selected ethnic groups. You have Indian Americans, on average, making twice as much as white Americans. And, think what you will about that. Say that's racist to bring that up or whatever. But the thing is, there's a lot of white people in America, and if you live in a legitimate democracy, you want politicians who are representing them and trying to help them be successful. And you know, I heard that last night on Matt Taibbi's RNC Roundup podcast with Walter Kern, that, you know, like, white people want to feel like the future is better for them. And there's only one political party that even remotely, you know, it feels like one political party hopes white people die, and the other political party is like, you know what, white people are people too, believe it or not. It's a bizarre.
Oh, Lord. You want my take on that?
Well, yeah, that's why I had you on here.
Well, I'm so sick of this race nonsense, because the government always wants to come up with these people, and divide us into groups. And you know, then they'll get up there and they'll say, race doesn't matter. Well, if that's true, and if our law says that you cannot be discriminated against, I told somebody, a friend of mine, and you know who they are, the other day, I said, if race doesn't matter, and I said, if you cannot be hired or fired because of race, religion, or anything else because of race, I said, then why in the heck, if it doesn't matter? In other words, if you fill out a job application before you get called into a job, listen, why does it matter what color you are if you're qualified to do the job? Here's the thing. Why do they ask you on a job application? I wish they'd do away with that. What race you are.
Why do you think they do that?
Are you white, male? Why do you need to know? Are you going to look at that? If there's no discrimination, what are you going to do with that information? Are you going to look at it and say, well, I don't want that one? Or is this for diversity hire purposes? You know, is that why you're still keeping it around? I think it ought to be abolished, because if we say we're Americans and race doesn't matter and we're all created equal under God, then why are we looking at color when it comes to hiring somebody for a job? That's my 2 cents.
I mean, it seems like the only sensible way to not be racist is to
not have that question.
I mean,
is to not have that question. You know, that'd be like, you never see this on a job application. That they would consider that discriminatory if they ask you what church you went to. Well, why are you asking what color they are?
That'd be like in Ireland.
Now,
you gotta
here's
check.
one reason is so that I said that guess the census, they can take a survey of what color people are working what jobs and how many of them are they. Listen, if we're all equal and we're all Americans, that shouldn't matter either. I wish the government would get their foot out of dividing us into group with statistics. Thank you.
You guys are getting to see some of the real Gary. This is some of the
that
real Gary coming out.
You know, because that's like we talked the other night when somebody says you're racist. See, I'm the farthest thing from a racist, but just because of some of my political opinions don't make me racist. They throw that card around, you know, and besides, whatever their opinion is of me, they get me fired up now. Whatever their opinion is of me don't determine who I am anyway.
I hear you.
So,
Mr. Wonderful here. He's recommending 2 great movies, Boy Kills World and Turbo Kid.
Who is?
Mr. Wonderful here. I put him up on
Who's
the screen.
Mr. Wonderful?
Mr. Wonderful's one of my most loyal subscribers here. I always like to think of Mr. Wonderful as my CIA handler. He's always around, giving me a pat on the back, says keep going. I know you're not Mr. Wonderful. I'm just joking with you. But true statistic surveys are dumb. I never answer them. We are friends. We are internet friends. Absolutely. He was one of the only guys I live streamed Fortnite one night for like 12 hours, and he hung out with me almost the whole time. So It was fun.
No, I went most of my life, and a lot of that stuff I never thought about, but because of certain friends I got of particular persuasions, we might say, that I begin to question that, and I thought, this does not make sense. Why are we doing it? You know what? They want to keep us in divisions and divided because it's easier to handle us.
Oh, I got
If they
something I
keep
wanna
us
show
busy,
you.
if we keep us busy pointing fingers at each other, it's much easier to control us because it takes our eyes and our minds off of what they're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wanted to share this with you, Dad, and get your take on it. Let me find
So,
it real
gentlemen,
quick.
you can go ahead and park your black Suburbans outside my door. It'll be fine.
It's all right.
Nah, I'm just, but
So
it's crazy.
here's the question.
Okay.
Do you know who Christopher Steele is?
Yeah, that's the one who, isn't that the one who wrote the Steele dossier?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Hillary's little.
And you knew Hillary hired him to write that.
Well, that's what I'm wondering about this Trump deal. Who deal it?
So-
I told you the other night.
Hey, oh, you go ahead. You go ahead.
When all this happened with the assassination attempt, I said the first question come to my mind is, where's Hillary? What's she been up to?
It's kind of strange that you say that because I want to show you this.
They got every other conspiracy theory
Look at
going.
this. I'm gonna show you that this is a tweet here from Christopher Steele, and he wrote it this morning. And he says here, the British media and political class have started normalizing Trump and his isolationist running mate, J.D. Vance, thinking they might win in November. In reality, this ticket poses a profound threat to our security, economy, and rule of law. And this is here, Dad. This is the money quote. This is the money quote. Look, read the last sentence. That
You
he
can't
said.
make this stuff up.
Read the last sentence that he wrote. He said, "I hope we are planning accordingly." Who is we? Who is we?
Who is we, and what are you planning?
Who is we? That's. And I said, hey, Americans, how's it make you feel to have the British intelligence agent who started Russiagate threaten you like this? I wish I'd put the British intelligence agent hired by Hillary Clinton to start Russiagate.
Well, that rabbit hole goes so deep, you better take more than just a lunch.
Right. And that made me think it seemed a little too perfect that the day after the Trump Russiagate or Trump the convention, that CrowdStrike, you remember CrowdStrike, made all these computers go down.
Oh yeah, what a wonderful day they had.
Now, you think that's a coincidence that happened? What do you think?
Who knows? I don't know. But I will say this. I don't know. I wouldn't say that. But I
So
will
there's
say
that's how a ton of airports
would
look.
surprise me. Nothing would surprise me.
So a ton of airports look like that today.
And it could be. And if it was a conspiracy, here's another conspiracy. Let's throw this out there. Maybe it was just a test to see how the system would act.
Well, yeah, I mean,
for some time in the future, we'll know exactly what happens.
well, I mean, it would be helpful if they had a mechanism to, shut off the internet the week of the election, or, but this is what's interesting to me about CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike was the company that went through,
one way to quieten down the people and cut down on dissension is to cut off their form of communication socially through the internet.
Right. So here's CrowdStrike was the company that the DNC hired to go through their server, and CrowdStrike decided that it was the Russians that hacked the server. And there's a famous video. I don't have it pulled up, but the CEO of CrowdStrike's in front of Congress, and they asked, "Do you have a copy of that server so we can take a look at it?" And he said, "No, we wiped it."
Of course they did.
But here you go. Seth Rich, Julian Assange, and WikiLeaks are indirectly connected to CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike was a cybersecurity firm hired by the DNC back in 2016 to investigate a suspected DNC server hack where internal DNC emails were leaked to WikiLeaks. CrowdStrike concluded that the hack was the work of Russian intelligence, which effectively kicked off the fake Russia collusion narrative that the media peddled for 4 years. In reality, can I say this on YouTube? I believe it. So, in reality, Seth Rich, a DNC staffer, leaked the data to an intermediary of WikiLeaks, who then published the emails. This claim is supported by Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, as well as Bill Binney, a former NSA whistleblower. The DNC used CrowdStrike to cover up the embarrassing situation and fabricated a connection to Russian intelligence. Just like they said Putin tried to assassinate Trump, right?
It makes you wonder which crowd they're striking.
Well, I love that one day they're like, it's Putin trying to assassinate Trump. And then the next day they're like, it's Iran. Iran tried to assassinate Trump. And just everyone we don't like. The Chinese, they blame the Chinese on day one. Another thing. I was like,
I wonder how they went about wiping it. You know, I mean, Hillary used a hammer. I want that. What they did.
I thought she used a cloth. They asked her how she wiped it, and she said with a cloth.
Well. She needs a couple of bottle of wines and another walk in the woods.
Is this it?
I shouldn't say. I need to shut up.
What, like with a cloth or something?
I don't know. You know how it works digitally.
Yeah.
Can we play that?
Did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or something?
I don't know. You know how it works.
Like with the cloth. She knows exactly what she did.
Let me see if I can find this. CrowdStrike Congress.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like they've done this to cover up the old story, because they may have something new planned. You know what I mean? CrowdStrike.
Well,
Congress.
it's hard to say, but it looks suspicious.
Yeah, because now I can't find the old story because this new one has covered it up, which I've heard is things they do sometimes. Sometimes they'll do that. Sort by upload date. Can I sort by old?
I wish I could think of the name of it. I watched a video today that I had watched over a year ago about a couple boys fishing. And anyway, I ain't going to get into the story, but this guy, they had wiped all the, shut their server down and wiped all the stuff. But this one investigator, he went back, there's some kind of website or something, and they keep copies of all web traffic, and he was able to go back and bring up all their posts up to the time they shut it down.
So here it is. Here's Aaron Mate at the time reporting on it. This is a transcript. Mr. Stewart of Utah asking the CrowdStrike guy, okay, what about the emails that everyone is so, knowledgeable of? Were there also indicators that they were prepared, but not evidence that they actually were exfiltrated? There's not evidence that they were actually exfiltrated. There's circumstantial evidence. Okay, but no evidence that they were actually exfiltrated. Okay. So I think that's how they reported it in the Mueller report here. Officers appear to have stolen thousands of emails and attachments, which were later released by WikiLeaks in July 2016. So they don't have any, but this is that company. You know what I mean? And I think this is the video where they asked Julian Assange. This is the closest he ever got to revealing a source. And listen what he says.
Donald Trump has had a disastrous few weeks. If you look at the polls, he needs a miracle. In the American political lexicon, there's such a thing as the October surprise. The stuff that you're sitting on, is an October surprise in there? Do you even know what you're sitting on?
WikiLeaks never sits on material. Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material, and often very significant risks. There's a 27-year-old works for the DNC who was shot in the back, murdered just 2 weeks ago.
So that was Seth Rich.
Unknown reasons as he was walking down the street in Washington. So
that was just a robbery, I believe, wasn't it?
No, there's no finding. So
what are you suggesting? What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that our sources.
So you knew that, Dad. Seth Rich was very involved in like the DNC's email server. So I think he was in charge of keep like maintenance on it. Like he was an IT engineer. Then he ends up dead in this robbery at like 3 a.m. And his Reddit profile really made it seem like he was a giant Bernie supporter. And he ended up dead, as well as the process server that accused the DNC of fraud, the DNC fraud lawsuit. He also died of an evident overdose. But this is, Julian's pretty much giving it away because he's never said ever of any source, but he's so mad in this clip that they're accusing it of being him working with Russia that he says this.
Take risks, and they become concerned to see things occurring like that.
But was he one of your sources then? I mean,
we don't comment on who our sources are.
But why make the suggestion about a young guy being shot in the streets of Washington?
Because we have to understand how high the stakes are in the United States, and that our sources are, our sources face serious risks. That's why they come to us, so we can protect their anonymity.
But it's quite something to suggest a murder. That's basically what you're doing.
Well, that others have suggested that. We are investigating to understand what happened in that situation with Seth Rich. I think it is a concerning situation. There's not a conclusion yet. We wouldn't be willing to state a conclusion, but we are concerned about it. And more importantly, a variety of WikiLeaks sources are concerned when that kind of thing happens.
There you go. So that's CrowdStrike right at the center of that. At the center of it again.
That man's lucky he's still alive.
He is. Do you think he'll come back and do anything, or you think he's going to lay in the cup for a while?
It's hard. It's hard to say. I haven't given it much thought, really.
I want to see if you've ever seen this. I want to show you one last video, and then I want to end with, I'm going to write this in the chat so I don't forget. I want to ask you about Trump, America, wrestling, politics, entertainment, and another thing that I forgot. It was great. I'm probably going to forget that one too, but I'll put it in here just see if I remember it. Okay. I want to see if you've ever seen this. Mr. Wonderful just mentioned it. 10 days after 9/11, General Wesley Clark said in a Democracy Now! Interview that on September 20th, the U.S. was to take out 7 countries in 5 years. So here you go. I want you to see this. This is General Wesley Clark.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who had used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, we've made the decision we're going to war with Iraq. This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why? He said, I don't know. He said, I guess they don't know what else to do. So I said, well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda? He said, no. He says, there's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq. He said, I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments. And he said, I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail. So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
So that's it. And then she makes him repeat it. So here we go.
The truth is about the Middle East is, had there been no oil there, it would be like Africa.
I'll let him play it out. Let's see what he says.
Nobody is threatening to intervene in Africa. The problem is the opposite. We keep asking for people to intervene and stop it. And there's no question that the presence of petroleum throughout the region has sparked great power involvement. Whether that was the specific motivation for the coup or not, I can't tell you, but there's always been this attitude that somehow we could intervene and use force. He said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then.
So they took out Iraq
and Syria, Lebanon.
They went to war in Syria.
Yeah.
Lebanon.
On Libya,
Somalia,
Sudan, and finishing off
with
Iran.
So there's only one left on the list, and they've been planning it for a long time. And it's also
I've said this for years, like about Africa and places, it doesn't matter. We always going somewhere and saying, well, it's a humanitarian effort. Well, if that's true, there's a lot of places in the world that need help. But the reason we don't get involved in those places is because they don't have resources we want.
Yeah.
There's always resources behind everything we do.
Well, and I know, we've already done an hour tonight. I don't want to get into this spiritual warfare in the Middle East and Israel and Iran and but that's my only, because what JD Vance said, like if we're going to hit Iran, we need to hit them hard, and that's what I'm hoping he doesn't do. I'm hoping he focuses on building up American infrastructure. He did have a great quote where he said he was talking about how China has invested in their own infrastructure, and that's helping their middle class get rich. And I thought that was hilarious because I thought no communist country had a middle class that was getting rich. But he said we need to do that in America. We need to invest in our infrastructure to help recreate the middle class. And my only hope, knock on wood, this is recorded now, Mr. JD, I got a lot of hope in you as another hillbilly from the Midwest. Do not pull out of Ukraine, and then just because it's very popular with the evangelical Christian base, blow the ever-loving hell out of Iran. Please don't do that. And I know that's quite a note for us to end on, Dad, but that's where I'm at. I just whatever you think, can't we avoid that, please? I know you. But there's people in the deep state who, like we showed you, they've wanted that forever. Forever. What do you think? You have the last word.
Well, I think we ought to not worry too much about it and take care of our own.
I like that. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
That's what I think.
So the last thing I was going to talk to you about was Trump.
Right now we're spending trillions of dollars to accomplish very little, if anything.
Yeah, mainly lining the shell companies of the Biden family, it appears.
And
boy, wasn't it, Mr. Wonderful. He said Build Back Better was a scam. So I wanted to.
Well, he said yesterday or day before, he needed 4 more years to straighten it out, and I'm like, you've had 4 years. And
right.
He said he needs 4 more years to fix it, and I'm thinking, okay, to completely destroy what's left.
Well, I feel like it's much more. If people were honest, I think most people would feel that Donald Trump definitely had more people pushing back against anything he was trying to do than Biden has had being pushed back against him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for Trump to get 4 years with the mandate could be interesting. Interesting things could happen. But it's like Garland said tonight. He's like, in America, people either check out like our cowboy friend, right? He needs 8 years.
Talk about Garland Nixon.
Yeah, Garland. He said people either check out like our cowboy friend, or he told a story about. He said he had a girlfriend when he was in his early 20s, and she kept wanting him to tell him that she loved. She goes, "Tell me you love me." And he goes, "But I don't love you." And she said, "Just say it. I like to hear it, even if it's not true." And he goes, "I think that's kind of how some Trump voters are. At least they're telling me things that make me feel good. Maybe nothing will happen. But I kind of feel that if it is all just a big show, Trump and Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock put on a way better show than Biden, Hillary, and Obama do."
Yeah, it's wild.
Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
It's much more entertaining. But I don't know, there's some hope. I think JD Vance is he's into some deep right-wing thinkers, and I don't think all those guys are the little mustache people, regardless of what the Democratic Party says. No. He's much more interested. He thinks liberalism is a failed project, which is interesting because in Marxism they think the same thing. A lot of Democrats act like Marxism is the Democratic Party, but it's not. They think liberalism is a failed project, and we need to get back to having like communities that take care of each other in America. And I'm not against that. That sounds like a good thing. People need to quit bowling alone, as they say in the book. So anyway, you got a birthday present to bring me, right?
Oh yeah.
You still feel up to coming over here and spending an hour?
Oh yeah, if you're gonna be up.
Okay, I'll be up. I'll probably stay up till about midnight.
Yeah.
But if the people like this, me and Dad will keep doing this every Friday. Is that okay with you, Dad?
Yeah, I'd like to know if they even want my silly cell phone here, because I can get, like a while ago, I can get pretty riled up sometimes.
No, I like that.
Especially when it comes to division and racism and stuff. I just don't see it. I mean, I don't right. I I think a lot of people,
I'm glad it makes you mad. I think that's deeply reflective of how a lot of people feel. It's goofy, you know.
I think a lot of people need to allow themselves to mature emotionally and get over themselves.
Yeah. Well, I want to go out with if I want to be influenced by anyone, it's these two men right here. So I want to play just a couple quick videos. Grapentine says, I love it. Hey, Grapentine, he's one of the real ones. So
yeah,
you got one fan out there, Dad, at least.
We're gonna have to give him a special surprise with the redneck Republican.
Oh
sometime.
yeah, that would be a hit. We'll cut that up and I'll release it individually on the channel as well.
Yeah.
All right, here I want to get a little bit of my heroes in here.
Okay.
We'll start with the one I like, and then we'll play the one we both like here.
What about Clinton? Is there any hope in Clinton? There's no fucking hope in that guy. They're all the same. I'll show you politics in America. Here it is, right here. I think the puppet on the right shares my beliefs. I think the puppet on the left is more to my liking. Hey, wait a minute. There's one guy holding up both puppets. Shut up. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control. Here's Love Connection. Watch this and get fat and stupid. By the way, keep drinking beer, you fucking morons.
Little Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
After Bill Hicks, we got to do.
Kind of like Rick James said, yeah, politics, you know. Kind of like Rick James said, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Right. I want to hear George here.
Now, there's one thing you might have noticed I don't complain about. Politicians. Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Yeah! Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out. If you have selfish, ignorant citizens, you're going to get selfish, ignorant leaders. And term limits ain't going to do you any good. You're just going to wind up with a brand new bunch of selfish, ignorant Americans. So maybe it's not the politicians who suck. Maybe something else sucks around here. Like the public. Yeah, the public sucks. There's a nice campaign slogan for somebody.
You know, this makes for great comedy, and I kind of get where he's coming from, but I really don't think that's true. I think most people are pretty awesome.
Right.
And there's a lot of hope in them. They just don't have any power.
There's one thing that does bother me about what we've become is though that we have lost our sense of humor. You know, we let it take everything personal. It's a joke.
Yeah.
You know,
I
grow
know.
up.
People are desperate to be able to tell jokes again. Just desperate, man. Yeah,
just laugh at each other. You know, you don't have to make a political thing out of everything. So what if it? You know, we're making fun of everybody.
Absolutely. Here, let's let
the public sucks. Fuck hope. Fuck hope. Because if it's really just the fault of these politicians, then where are all the other bright people of conscience? Where are all the bright, honest, intelligent Americans ready to step in and save the nation and lead the way? We don't have people like that in this country.
That's not true, because we do. But I get it's fun. It's a fun joke.
Everybody's at the mall, scratching his ass, picking his nose, taking his credit card out of his fanny pack and buying a pair of sneakers with lights in them. So I have solved this little political dilemma for myself in a very simple way. On election day, I stay home. I don't vote. Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't vote. Two reasons I don't vote. First of all, it's meaningless. This country was bought and sold and paid for a long time ago. The shit they shuffle around every 4 years doesn't mean a fucking thing. And secondly, I don't vote because I believe if you vote, you have no right to complain. People like to twist that around. I know. They say, well, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. But where's the logic in that? If you vote and you elect dishonest, incompetent people, and they get into office and screw everything up, well, you are responsible for what they have done. You caused the problem. You voted them in. You have no right to complain. I, on the other hand, who did not vote, who, in fact, did not even leave the house on election day, am in no way responsible for what these people have done and have every right to complain as loud as I want about the mess you created that I had nothing to do with. So I know that a little later on this year you're going to have another one of those really swell presidential elections that you like so much. You'll enjoy yourselves. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure as soon as the election is over, your country will improve immediately. As for me, I'll be home on that day doing essentially the same thing as you. The only difference is when I get finished masturbating, I'm going to have a little something to show for it, folks. Thank you very much.
I was joking about that last night. I said, like the way Trump talks is what's he say? And we're going to fix it, and we're going to fix it very quickly. We're going to fix it, and we're going to fix it quickly. Yeah. Very, very quickly. Very quickly. And I joked with my brother-in-law. He was over here, and I said, it's literally as soon as he takes the oath of office, America's just going to
be better than it's ever been. It's going to be like nothing that's ever been seen before.
It's going to be like nothing that's ever been seen. I'm going to call Putin, call Xi. Overnight, all the problems will be fixed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would say something about Hillary and the Vince McMahon clip, but I probably shouldn't say it on YouTube. So
give her also a rest.
I'm gonna pray for Hillary. Let's end every stream, Dad, with a prayer for Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi. We should pray for them.
I'll tell you the truth. We need to pray for them all. In fact, we even need to pray for ourselves because we're all.
Amen.
We're all guilty.
Amen. We've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
We got to be careful because, Romans 6:23 says all have sinned and come short. And that is so very true.
I think people are going to like this because, no
matter.
People are going to like your scripture.
No matter what I say, I don't. It's kind of like the assassination attempt. I heard somebody today say that, there's interviewing people on the street. Now, here's what's sad. They said, there was some that was saying, it was staged. Trump paid to have that done. And I'm thinking, and somebody asked them, the interviewer asked them, said, well, somebody died, actually died. And this person is so demented, they actually said, well, do you think he actually cares whether anybody dies or not?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm thinking, I don't know. But I'm just saying, I don't, like I said last Friday night, I may differ with your opinion, but I don't want nobody to die. I don't wish anybody ill will.
Life is precious.
I disagree with the thanking, and sometimes I wonder, if they don't need therapy, but maybe I do, so.
Well, I heard someone say, it was actually Walter Kern on that Matt Taibbi Racket News live stream that, Trump last night probably was feeling some trauma because they say sometimes the worst trauma you feel is to be in a situation like that, like in the old veterans where they're alive, but their buddy didn't make it. And somebody died at that rally trying to shoot him. And
yeah,
I imagine that would weigh on his heart if he's got an ounce of humanity.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like to me he had a little bit different look on his face.
I kind of agree with you, Mr. Wonderful. It certainly seemed like an MK Ultra mind control kind of thing going on. A lot like they used to do with the Muslim kids. They get them set up,
Oh, well, the Matrix is more real than you may think.
That's right. Even Andrew Tate. But
Depends
you know
on
what?
which pill. Just
We'll
depends
end
on
with
which
that.
pill you take.
Here you go. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. Right, Pastor Gary?
Oh, yeah.
End on a high note. There is hope, and somebody bigger than us is taking care of it. And that is the apex of my politics, is I feel...
You know, I
don't
can be wrong, and I can be wrong, and we all might be. We all are wrong about something. We're not. All of us aren't right about everything, but that's why we pray, as Paul said, to open the eyes of our understanding.
Yep.
So
you gotta stay humble. There's nothing I hate more than getting on here and listening to somebody that claims to have it all figured out, and that will never be me.
It's my way. They act like it's my way or the highway, and if not, then you're gonna burn forever. And I'm like, oh, come on, get a grip, because
I got a lot of that. I don't know how to explain it, but like my political journey has been, it's always like, I think the working class are going to have to fight. They're going to have to fight the people that are trying to crush them. But my Christianity, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and it's a struggle, and I think it's a good struggle. I'd be afraid if I didn't have that struggle. So, I was raised right, YouTube audience, by this good man right here, and we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna keep getting on here every Friday and figure it out a little bit, or at least have fun watching the internets.
We're human beings, and we know what's right. We just don't maybe always do it, but we know what's right.
There you go.
Some of your audience disagree with me. A lot of people think, oh, well, I'm a human being, and I'm having, we got all these people doing all this crazy stuff. I'm a human being. I'm having a spiritual experience. No, you're a spiritual being having a human experience.
Amen to that. I know that's true. I've had a spiritual experience that, I realize that deeply, that, I give people a little bit of, put some meat on the bone. I had this vision, and I saw Martin Luther King, and I saw Gandhi, and I saw Jesus, and I saw, the exact people that probably were involved in that shooting here, the capitalism's invisible army here, the CIA. And they usually take out, the Roman government took out Christ. They take out anyone trying to push the spiritual life of humanity, evolve the spirit of humanity upward, usually gets killed by the state. But I had a vision where I realized that's good. You shouldn't be afraid of that. That is your purpose on this planet. And it is the highest honor to be a part of that, So don't be afraid. Speak the truth. And God'll work through us if we're humble and we let him. And ask him to. So we ask him to work through me and Brother Gary, and we're going to get off here. If anybody wants to donate, there's links in the description. If you buy me a coffee, I will buy Dad a coffee, okay? I promise.
As Davey says, brother.
Brother. Yep.
Okay. Well, I love you. I'll see you in a little bit. Bring you a little something.
All right.
Yeah.
Man.
Bring you a little birthday present.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on this.
You may be 37, but you're not too old to.
I love how everyone calls you a baby. No, if they're younger than you, you're a baby. Right?
I like when
this one was good. I like this, Dad. You like that? Where is it?
Yeah.
How it started, how it's going. It's got George Washington and I want to watch this. I want to watch this one more time. I love it so much. This is one of my favorite things.
But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero?
America's back, baby.
They tried to kill
America's
the
back.
next president of the United States. Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
There you go. Who doesn't want America to be great again? I do.
Yeah. I think some people hear that and kind of like we was talking a while ago, they take it and they misinterpret it. It's kind of like we was talking about the Whitney, you know, they go to extremes with it.
Well, I think when you swallow the, and I know this word, I don't mean to trigger you with this word, but when you swallow the Marxist pill and you start thinking that America's a capitalist country and it's hopeless and there's no hope in any political party, and you know, I flirt with that, but I also think
Hope springs eternal. You gotta have faith.
Good people can work through a broken system, or at least we should support them trying to, as the whole thing burns. While we try to build a working class party, Whitney, what are you doing building a working class party, Whitney? Yeah. You're educating the populace, I guess, but like listening to it, it's mostly doom and gloom. Like, hit the street. We'd love to see you at a CPI meeting, Whitney, or any meeting at all. I think you moved to South America. I'm pretty sure she lives in like Bolivia. She doesn't have anything to do.
Yeah, she lives in South America. Chile, I think.
She's taking the Ben Norton pill. Yes, Chile. So we're still here struggling through it, but you can point your finger at us from outside if you want.
Well,
I get it. She does good work. I mean, it's
work can be like the last election. You know, the last election. Well, not the last, but when Trump won last time, you know, remember especially in Hollywood, all the people said, "I'm moving, I'm leaving, I'm going to Canada, I'm leaving America." Well, guess what? They didn't leave. And here's what I always say. You know, it's kind of like Merle Haggard had in his song "Fight Inside of Me." You know, they love our milk and honey, but they want to preach about another way of living.
Well, I used to joke when, you know, older conservatives would be like, if you don't like America, why don't you just leave? And I'd always be like, well, why don't you buy me a plane ticket to Paris? You know.
Right.
But I wouldn't make that joke anymore. I'm not leaving. This is my country. I'm going to stay here and do my best to fix it how I can. You know, that's what a patriot does.
I don't know. I think a lot of people, now there are some good countries, but I'm just saying, I think a lot of people that say a lot of things have never been, some of them's never been out of their home state, but they got all these comments to make, you know, so they don't realize, America was meant to be an experiment anyway, and we're still experimenting, but there is, we may not have what we want, but we still have a lot of options for opportunity.
I don't think it's over. I mean, we're on here doing it right now, trying to spread our word.
Well, you gotta have faith. Otherwise, you know, a man without faith or hope has no. He can't be happy. But if you have faith, and what is faith? Faith is having hope in that which cannot be seen. You know.
So this is. Oh, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because, you know, because you got to look at the things which are not seen, but the things which are eternal. Because the things which are seen, you know, are temporal. But the things which are not seen are
we have
eternal.
Mr. Wonderful. Yes, I agree. We have Mr. Wonderful. I know Whitney well, and I think she's done way more good than ill. It was just today her comments were, you know, I'm like a little bit of TBS going on.
She has some good things to say.
Yeah,
and even some people that I really disagree with it's like this, they have some good things to say. And even somebody that you really, really don't care for at all, once in a while they'll come up, even a blind hog, if he roots around long enough, will find an acorn. And, even a broken clock is twice a day.
That's right. That's a hillbilly elegy right there. Find an acorn living on Washington Street.
Yeah.
All right, here, I wanted to share this with you, Dad. This is Emerson from Self-Reliance. He said, traveling is a fool's paradise. Our first journeys discover to us the indifference of places. At home, I dream that at Naples, at Rome, I can be intoxicated with beauty and lose my sadness. I pack my trunk, embrace my friends, embark on the sea, and at last wake up in Naples. And there beside me is the stern fact, the sad self, unrelenting, identical, that I fled from. I seek the Vatican and the palaces. I affect to be intoxicated with sights and suggestions, but I am not intoxicated. My giant goes with me wherever I go. By the rage of traveling is a symptom of a deeper unsoundness affecting the whole intellectual action. Let me see where this is. I thought I had found it. Maybe it is here. It's weird when you read an essay. It's like parts of it stick with you in your mind, and then it's hard to find the exact one. I think it's... There it is. I remembered fast. It is for one of self-culture that the superstition of traveling, whose idols are Italy, England, Egypt, retains its fascination for all educated Americans. They who made England, Italy, or Greece venerable in the imagination did so by sticking fast where they were, like an axis on the earth. That's it. That's what I always remind myself. He said, in manly hours we feel that duty is our place. The soul is no traveler. The wise man stays at home. And when his necessities, his duties, on any occasion call him from his house or into foreign lands, he is at home still, and shall make men sensible by the expression of his countenance, that he goes the missionary of wisdom and virtue, and visits cities and men like a sovereign, and not like an interloper or a valet. But I love this part, that these cities were made great by people sticking where they were. They weren't made great by people moving to South America. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And anyway, treatment here says, happy birthday, Tyler. Stay healthy and positive. I hope your students know how lucky they are to have a teacher like you. Thanks, man. That means a lot to me. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes, and thank you, Dad, for giving me an hour and a half of your life on a Friday night. I know you had a lot to do. You had a hot date, and
yeah. So, I'm serious. So, if your audience wants to hear this, your old man's stupidity next week, then let me know.
Grapentine right here. He said, I do. I love it. So we'll go out with Mr. Wonderful here. Take care, everyone. Peace. And God bless. We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Better things are ahead. I promise.
Yeah, the best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come. And if it has to get worse before it gets better, it will get better.
Be like they used to say at Sunday dinner. After church, they'd say, keep your fork. Because if you didn't, you'd be looking, there wouldn't be no clean ones. They say, hang on to your fork, because you're going to have dessert, so hang on to your fork. The best is yet to come.
Can't beat that. Remember it, America. Words of wisdom from Gary the Wise.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week, and I'll see you over here in a second, Dad.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Love you guys. Bye-bye.